Hello everyone, Mr. Happy here, and in this video I want to share with you all some information about the Live Letter 22 that took place at E3 in 2015. So this took place on Thursday, June 18th, while we're all waiting for Heavensward to come up tomorrow, and to be honest, there wasn't a whole lot to talk about in this Live Letter. They just showed off the free company crafting feature a little bit more in depth, but if you've already read the patch notes, you can imagine it was just showcasing things outside of a screenshot. It was just video of that feature. But let's do a quick overview on the stuff that was revealed at the Live Letter. The first thing Yoshi P said after they showed the Heavensward launch trailer that I already made a video about is that if you see any data mined information on a website, take it down because it's not allowed. A lot of people have been asking me, why don't you make a video about all this stuff that's coming from the E3 show floor, all this data mined information that we got this morning? I'm not going to because I like my YouTube channel and I want it to stay intact. And I've seen some really nasty things happen to other content creators who have had the unfortunate thing of just having information online and then going to share it. So I will not be sharing that. We'll just have to wait until the patch actually goes live. It's less than 12 hours at this point. Well, by the time you see this, it'll be less than 12 hours, but come on. So another thing that he wanted to talk about, and this I thought was great, they are taking special measures to reduce congestion at launch. Some of you may play Guild Wars 2 and know about the channel system, where there are multiple instances for each zone. Well, they're going to be doing that for the launch of Final Fantasy XIV Heavensward as well. Certain zones, I believe Coerthas, Western and Central Highlands, and the Dravanian Hinterlands, I think those were the three zones that they mentioned, they are going to have their own field instances. So what this means is that when you zone in to one of these areas, you'll be placed in one of two or maybe more channels, depending on if they need to add it. And that way people are separated and they're not all trying to zone into the exact same map. This is being implemented strictly for launch in order to reduce congestion. But it may seem a little bit confusing at times, especially when it comes to wanting to party together with your friends. What if we end up in different channels? Is there a way for all of us to get into the same channel? And luckily, there is a way for you to do that. So while teleporting into these areas is going to place you in a random channel, you can actually control which channel you go into by entering the zone via walking or on your ground mount or something along those lines. So if you want to make sure you're in the same place as your party members, as your friends, then make sure you're all walking into the zone and select the same channel together. You can still send tells to people if they're in another one of these field instances. Just that whole party thing getting split up is the only issue we really have to cover. Now, they're only going to have two, and only on really high population servers are they doing this for those three zones, but more will be added later if it's necessary. I'm a fan of this. It's not like it's anything groundbreaking. Like tons of other games have done this before. It's honestly a surprise. Maybe they didn't do it for the 2.0 launch. And I know they were, oh, we didn't think it was going to be this popular. Not an excuse, but this is good. This should help deal with the congestion along with the auto log off thing that is coming back just for the launch of Heavensward. Now, there were some minions that were shown off right before they talked about the free company crafting and housing, but I'm going to talk about those later because those are part of another thing that they showed. So for the free company crafting and housing, I really don't have much to say. They spent the majority of their time talking about this and showcasing this. And while yes, it looks very pretty, it's cool to look at, it's all stuff we knew. You know, it's about $1 million for the workshop. You can enter the workshop near the private housing door. We know about the 3 different stations. We know about the free company crafting log. Now, there were some other details that were really cool to see kind of firsthand before we actually got to see them ourselves in the game tomorrow. For example, when you actually go to the free company crafting station, it'll actually show you, this is called the fabrication station, by the way, great name. It actually shows you a preview of the item that you're about to craft, which I thought was a nice touch, so you know the aesthetic aspect of it. And we don't craft something and like, I don't know what this looks like, I guess I got to go online and Google it. Nope, you'll be able to look at it right there in your workshop. Now, each craft has multiple phases. We knew this as well. It's reflected in the overview of the craft that you're trying to finish. Free company crafting can be used also to help level gatherers when building these items. So if you notice that an item says it's like level 21 or level 27 or something like that, you'll also notice that it has an experience point value if somebody hands in items to the free company. So your free company can level your crafters, essentially, if you're a smaller free company that doesn't have access to these things, using this system. It's another little system. I don't expect it to be the main way for people to level crafting, but it is something that's a little bit nice, just as a little extra thing the free company can do together. Now, one thing that was a little confusing, and I'm not going to say this is hands down the only way to do it, just because I may have misinterpreted what they said, so take this next piece of information with a grain of salt. They said that after you've gathered all the materials, it's going to require a party of 4 crafters to actually use these gathered materials and finish the phase and move on to the next one. That leads me to believe you need 4 crafters. Now, let's just say that, yes, let's just say that, okay, yeah, you need 4 crafters, which may be a little bit saddening for people that have super small free companies. I wonder if they need to be 4 free company members as crafters. I don't recall them saying this. Or if you could just get 4 of any crafter, really. This is something we need more information about, something I don't recall seeing anything about outside of what they said. But, yeah, just expect it. Just take it with a grain of salt. You may need a party of 4 crafters in order to actually finish these phases for the free company crafting. They also showed off the flight control panel, you know, reiterated. We have 4 airships. We can make up to 4 airships, I should say. We can name them. You're able to deploy them out into the world. You can decide their routes and which islands they're going to stop at in which order. You choose multiple islands for it to stop at. Longer routes can cause them to have longer missions. You can have them have over 24-hour missions, or they can have really short missions. Also, the course you select decides the items that you bring back, because certain islands just have certain items that are abundant on them. Also, in 3.1, don't forget, now, while you're sending your airship out and it's exploring all these areas with the ventures, it's going to be keeping track of islands that you can visit later. Islands that have oxygen supplies, or have adequate oxygen supplies, or that have certain weather conditions that are considered safe for you to go there. So in 3.1, those islands that we discovered in 3.0, but before 3.1, and any we discover after 3.1, we will actually be able to go there, fight bosses, gather rare materials, and all that stuff. So it'll be this grand experience. Now, I would like to point out that it's much different from the ventures, which may take 24 hours. Don't expect you to have to go on a 24-hour flight with your airship in 3.1. Just, that's only for the venture kind of aspect. And they also showcase the different parts, changing the stats of your airship, something we talked about in my patch note reading the other night. And that was, again, really all they showed in the game itself. They still went over some other things, like they talked about the new loot system. You know, they reminded us we're going to have normal, we're going to have greed only, we're going to have loot master. And they also, in a very confusing way, described the way that the loot for Alexander normal is going to work. We didn't hear about Alexander Savage. We're going to hear about that at the next live letter. But Alexander, okay, so here's how it's explained. I literally wrote this from the PowerPoint slide. Coffers in each area contain special items which can be exchanged for gear. That sounds like the token system that we're used to. So far, so good. That item can only be gotten from each boss once per week. From each level, they specifically said. Like, from each level, you can only get 1 item per week. So there's going to be 4 levels. So, you know, you're going to be able to get 4 pieces, basically. Token can be traded in for gear or accessory of choice. So it sounds like we're not actually rolling on loot with Alexander Normal. We're just rolling on our tokens for the week. And that's all we're supposed to do. At least that's how it sounds to me. Maybe I didn't really like the way it was explained. They didn't clarify if there's going to be regular loot drops in there. They're making it seem like there won't be regular loot drops. It seems abundantly clear based on their explanation. But I'm not ruling it out entirely. They made it sound like we're going to have to roll on tokens, which was something a little bit different than the way it's... That explains how it's different from Ravana and Bismarck. Where Ravana and Bismarck, I think everyone gets them on a clear. And then this, instead, you have to roll on them. But, then there's 2 different types of tokens also from Alexander Normal. There's token A and token B. They didn't give us the names. The patch notes for 3.01 sometime in the next couple of weeks will explain to us entirely how this token system works. And then depending on which token you have, either A or B, you can trade them in for items. Like 1 of token A gets you 1 accessory, right? And 4 of token B gets you 1 armor piece. There's no weapons mentioned here, so I'm assuming those may drop from the final boss in Alexander, or maybe it's thrown in with the token B, or maybe they just didn't explain that there's like a 3rd token or something along those lines. It's probably either token B or it drops right from Alexander, or there's no weapons. Who the hell knows? And then they didn't describe to us Alexander Savage. I'll make another video about this when we have more information. I didn't like their explanation of it here at all, so we'll have to move on to that. And other than that stuff so far, they just talked about like the Recruit a Friend campaign and how they're revamping it to make it better. And in some people's eyes, it's better. In some people's eyes, it's worse. I guess it depends on where you stand with the whole Recruit a Friend thing. So from now on, when you recruit a friend, let's say you're the recruiter. You recruited a friend to the game. He's playing it. He's enjoying it, whatever. Every friend you recruit will give you 5 gold chocobo feathers. Now, on top of that, they added tiers for the recruiter rewards. If your recruitee buys 150, 210, or 270 days total subtime, you'll get 5 more feathers for each of those tiers. So 5 for 150, 5 for 210, and 5 for 270. Total of 20 feathers maximum per person. Now, you can use these golden feathers to purchase rewards that weren't previously available. So that's 1 gold feather gets you a set of 5 rare dies, 8 gets you a red draft chocobo mount, and 15 gets you a twin Tanya mount. That, by the way, has a mount emote that is dive bombs. It's a barrel roll, but it's dive bombs. It's a barrel roll, but it's dive bombs. You know what I mean? So yes, we can get a twin Tanya mount through the recruiter friend system. Now, like I said, every friend that is recruited is worth 5 gold chocobo feathers. But the first one that you recruit will also give you the bro fist emote, an emote we've been hearing about quite often. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking out there, what if I already recruited somebody? Does it count for this? And the answer is yes. If you have recruited somebody before and you've gotten rewards from them before, you will get 5 gold feathers for each person you recruited. And if those recruiters met the 150, 210, or 270 day subtime goals, you will also get 5 more feathers. So if you already have, you might have 15 feathers come Tuesday and have the twin Tanya amount already just from your previous ones. All of your progress with any previous recruiter friend counts for this. So don't worry about needing to do it all over again. Now, as for the invitee, the person who's being recruited, they are also going to get the fist bump emote. Now, this is for their 30-day rewards, by the way. At the 30-day mark for the invitee, they're going to get the bro fist emote. They're going to get 99 Ethernet tickets, you know, those free teleport tickets that we get, and 10 silver chocobo feathers. Now, these are nothing like the gold ones. These can actually be used in-game to buy low-level gear with higher stats so that the gearing process is a little bit easier for these brand new players. And that's fine. I'm assuming that means somewhere between levels 1 and 30 is probably about the gear level we can expect from that. But it's a nice little incentive, again, to the invitee. I'm a fan of these changes. More stuff for people that utilize the system, in my opinion, is never a bad thing. I know a lot of people are upset the twin Tanya mount is gated behind Recruiter Friend, but I mean, I don't know what to say. It's like, it is what it is. That's where the twin Tanya mount comes from, so I can't really say too much about it. He also showed off a little bit of the floating continent, but not enough for me to really mention anything about it here. And that was it. I'm not kidding. That was the entire live letter. The fact that I even managed to talk about this for 13 minutes is pretty much just because it's Mr. Happy, and how the hell would I not make a video that was long as hell. Now, they did announce a few things. Upcoming schedule. Letter from the Producer Live 23 is going to be on Friday, July 10th. That is going to talk a little bit more about Alexander Savage and patch 3.05 in general. They're also initiating a new type of welcome back campaign. Now, this one had people a little bit riled up at first, so I'm going to clarify a few things here. The welcome back campaign does not give you a free amount of time for the game. This welcome back campaign only applies to people who are resubscribing to the game. It's not free playtime, which was the big thing people thought, because that's how the welcome back campaigns have been before. But basically, if you haven't logged into the game since March 31st, so you have to have not logged in at all before April. If you resubscribe to the game between June 23rd and July 23rd, you will get 1 free I-120. Well, okay, let me rephrase this. You'll get free I-120 stuff just for a short time, just to get you back into the game, to get you more caught up for Heavensward with a little bit of gear to get you through those main story missions, or to, you know, give you a little bit of an easier time right when you hit the Heavensward areas. It's not a full set of I-120 gear. It's just like, I think he said you could get 2 weapons maybe with it, or 4 armor pieces if you really wanted to, but it is quite a few pieces of I-120 gear. So if you haven't played since March 31st or before that, if you resubscribe between launch date, June 23rd, if you resubscribe on the 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, it won't work. 23rd through July 23rd, you will get this bonus. Also, new veteran rewards. 840 days gets you Furion's set from Final Fantasy II, the Wild Rose set. The sword is not included, but the rest of it is. So those of us who like dressing up like Final Fantasy characters, and by us, I mean you, because I don't usually do it. I'm a chocobo. You'll have this. There you go. And on top of that, they announced that there's going to be new Carbuncle plushies going on sale over the next couple of months across the different regions. North America is going to get it in August. I think Europe is getting it first. I don't remember. I think they said Paris. There was like a convention at Paris going on. But they're going to be available online too. They're going to be sold at conventions first, and then at Paris, and then online at the e-store later. And if you have the Carbuncle plushie, if you buy it, you'll actually get a Carbuncle minion. Now, you may have seen some of this footage, Yoshi P with a Carbuncle minion walking behind him. That's how you get it, by buying the Carbuncle plushies. And they also are selling another soundtrack before the fall. It has all the music from 2.2 to 2.5, Blu-ray disc as usual, and it comes with the Primog minion, which is 5 Moogles in a single minion. And in case you didn't go to Fan Festival, the Primals, Soken's band, you know, we are Primals, we play Primal songs. It's the Primogs. So, yeah, it's cringeworthy. It's okay. I understand. I understand. But yeah, you'll be able to buy that soon as well. That comes out, I believe, on August 26th, 2015, just before the 2-year anniversary. All right, and that's my wrap up for the Live Letter 23. At this point, I'm going to go eat. I'm going to go shower, I'm going to go to sleep, and I will be live streaming tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. Eastern. We're going to be live for an hour before the patch goes live. Listen to some music, just sit there, refresh the screen, refresh the screen over and over again until it goes live, and then we're going to burst through the content. I have decided I am going to be skipping cutscenes. So if anybody wants to come watch spoiler-free, I will be doing my best to get through the content, record videos for YouTube. It's going to be anywhere from a 12 to 16-hour event. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video. I will see you tomorrow for Heavensward, and until then, take care.